Hi everyone. So what we have created now is a channel where everyone can ask me any math question. Just go to the Telegram, go to your Telegram and search for P Mathexes on your Telegram, or you can just tap this link and you go straight to our channel P Mathexes, and in that channel you can go to a group, ask Percy. There is a link in the channel that will take you to a group where you can post your question. Then when you post your question, I'll able to answer your question as soon as possible. So Boy Pele have done that. So you're gonna be answering Boy Pele's question. She wants help with trigonometry. So the reason why I want it to be a public platform so that anyone can come to this platform and use it as a resource to learn mathematics. So Boy Pele have asked questions on trigonometry, and we're gonna answer that question together and learn together. So all I want from you is share and talk and like and comment and engage on this platform. Make sure that people get to know about this platform. And let's get into it. Okay. So Buipelo Ngadala asked that if I can help her prove the first two questions and simplify the last one. So there's the first two questions you want me to prove and simplify them. So what we're gonna use a lot, we're gonna use this trigonometry cheat sheet that I posted. This cheat sheet on my Facebook page. Go to my Facebook page, download this cheat sheet from my Facebook page or from the Instagram page, PMethexes. Search for Instagram PMethexes or Facebook PMethexes. This page, this cheat sheet is there. Download it, and we're gonna use it a lot and see how you can use it as well. So let's go. So first question, prove that tan x minus 1 times sine 2x minus 2 cos squared x is equal to 2 in bracket 1 minus sine x cos x. Okay, so you wanted to prove that the left hand side is equal to right hand side. So easy. First thing first, you see that your right hand side has sine and cos, so we want to have everything here on your left hand side to have sine and cos. So technically we need to basically remove the brackets, so you times tan x with these two and times negative 1 with these two to remove the bracket. That's the first step. And just make sure that tan x, sine 2x and cos squared x, this whole thing is changed to be in the form of sine x cos x. That's what we are aiming to do in this particular question. Okay, first let's remove the bracket. So tan x times sine 2x, that is tan x sine 2x. Now what is tan x times 2 cos squared x? That is 2 tan x cos squared x. Okay, there's a minus there, so it's minus 2 tan x cos squared x. Now what is negative 1 times sine 2x? That is negative sine 2x. Now what is negative 1 times negative 2 cos squared x? Now that's going to be positive 2 cos squared x. Okay, and then we go to our cheat sheets, you see that tan x is equal to sine cos x. Tan x is equal to sine cos x. So you're going to just rewrite that as sine x over cos x. Okay, and our notes, we know that sine 2x is equal to 2 sine x cos x. Okay, sine 2x is equal to sine x cos sine x cos x, double angles. So we're gonna write this as that. So that's gonna be 2 sine x cos x minus 2, of course, we know tan x is sine x over cos x. So this is going to be sine x over cos x times cos squared x minus, again, sine 2x is 2 sine x cos x plus 2 cos squared x. Right, and from here, see that cos x and cos x will cancel, so you'll be left with 2 sine x, and here cos x and cos squared x will cancel, so cos squared x over cos x is cos x. Cos squared x over cos x is cos x. So you'll be left with negative 2 sine x cos x. This is negative 2 sine x cos x plus 2 cos squared x. Okay, and now check this out. Of course, we know what is sine x times sine x. Sine x times sine x is sine squared x, so you have 2 sine squared x. And this look like terms. Negative 2 sine x cos x minus 2 sine x cos x is equal to negative 4 sine x cos x. Of course, this is cos squared x. Let's come back to our cheat sheet. Cheat sheet says that remember this identity: sine squared x plus cos squared x is equal to 1. So sine squared x plus cos squared x is equal to 1. How do you apply this here? You see that you have 2 sine squared x and 2 cos squared x. Look familiar? So we can just group the like terms for now. Say, okay, cool, we have this plus 2 cos squared x minus 4 sine x cos x. Now, sine squared x plus 2 cos squared x, if you factor out 2, you'll be left with sine 2x plus cos squared x. Remember, this is the minus. Okay, and now what is sine squared x plus cos squared x? Sine squared x plus cos squared x is 1, right? Is 1. Sine squared x plus cos squared x is 1. So you're gonna have 2 minus 4 sine x cos x. So finally, this is the answer that you have. Okay, now let's look at our right hand side that we're trying to prove. So you see they factor out 2, so we can also factor out 2 as well. So you have 2 1 minus 2 sine x cos x if you factor out 2. All right, but the problem is this is not the same, right? This is what we got. This is what Boy Pedro wrote. Please, Boy Pedro, check if you didn't make a typo there. This was supposed to be 1 minus 2 sine x cos x. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next question. Next question, prove without using a calculator that sine 190 degrees cos 225 tan 390 degrees over cos 100 over times sine 135 degrees equal to 1 over root 3. Okay, so prove without using calculator that sine of 190 degrees was it cos 225, let me see, yes, and tan 390 degrees over cos 100 and sine 35 cos 100 times sine 135 degrees is equal to 1 over root 3. Okay, so if you have a question like this, the golden rule here is to take the angle, so take the angle, these angles here, and reduce them into your first quadro. Reduce them to be between 0 and 90 degrees. Take your angles and reduce them to be between 0 and 90 degrees. 0 and 90 degrees. That's what you need to do. You reduce all your angles, all of these angles, 190, 225, 390, 100, and 135, to be between 0 and 90 degrees. That's what you need to do. And to do that, we're going to use a lot of cast diagram, of course. Okay, so how do you use a cast diagram? You ask yourself these following questions. Okay, so you ask yourself, okay, cool, where is 190 degrees on the cast diagram? 190 degrees on the cast diagram, this is a cast diagram. 190 degrees is between 180 and 270. That's 190 degrees. 190 degrees between 180 and 270. And only tan is positive on the third quadrile. So meaning that in this case sine is negative. So you're gonna have just write negative sine, and then you need to change that 190 to an angle that is between 0 and 90 degrees. So to do that, you have a couple of options to do it already. So you can just take an angle minus 180 degrees, or it's taking 180 degrees minus an angle, or you can just say an angle minus 360 degrees, or 360 minus an angle, depend on the context, right? But in this case 190 is greater than 180, so we can just take an angle, so you can just take that angle minus 180. So you can just say 190 minus 180, that's gonna be 10 degrees. So technically we use that one, right? Why? Because 190 is greater than 180, and if you minus this two, it reduces to the angle that's between 0 and 90 degrees, and that's what you want. Okay, let's go to the second one. Now, where is 2 to 5 on the cast diagram? Okay, 2 to 5. 2 to 5, again, it is on your third quadrile, and only tan is positive on your third quadrile, and that means our cos is negative. So you're gonna have negative cos. Now you reduce the 2 to 5 into the angle that's between 0 and 90 degrees. How do you do that? Again, you can just use this one, because 2 to 5 is greater than 180. So 2 to 5 minus 180, that is 45. So you can just write that down. 2 to 5 minus 180, that is 45. Now doing the same thing again, 390 degrees. 390 degrees, blah blah. You go check. Okay, cool. Where's 390 degrees? 390 degrees is here. It's above 360, right? So it's here on the fifth quadrile, or it's technically on the first quadrile. And on the first quadrile, all functions are positive. So that means that tan there is positive as well. So this is gonna be positive tan. Okay, now let's reduce the 390 degrees to your first quadrile between 0 and 90 degrees. 390 degrees is greater than 360, so you can just say 390 minus 360. 390 minus 360, what do you get? Good, you get 30. Okay, and again, now you ask yourself, where's 100? Go to your cast diagram. Okay, cool. 100 is on my second quadrile, and since 100 is on the second quadrile, only sine is positive on the second quadrile. Therefore, anything else is negative, right? So we're gonna have negative cos. Now let's reduce 100 to be between 0 and 90 degrees. To do that, I'm running battery low. To do that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna say 180, because 100 is less than 180, you're gonna just say 180 minus 100. 180 minus 100, and you have 80 degrees. Remember, we don't want a negative angle, so we couldn't use this one here, because we're gonna have a negative angle. 100 minus 180, and we're gonna have negative 180, and we don't want that. Just want to have a positive angle that is between 0 and 90 degrees. Okay, so that's why I just chose to use 180 minus theta. Okay, and then before you write sine, ask yourself, cool, where's this angle 135? Go to your cast diagram. 135 is here again on the second quadrile. In the second quadrile, only sine is positive on the second quadrile. So this is sine, so you're gonna have positive sine, that's fine. And then how do you reduce that to the positive, to the angle between 0 and 90 degrees? You literally say 180 minus 185, 180 minus 185, and you get 45. And from here, what we need to do is recognize that 10 degrees can be written as 90 minus 10. Just hold the thought on why I'm doing that. I'll show you to you just now why I'm doing that. 10 degrees can be written as 90 minus 80. Right? 90 minus 80. So I'm trying to associate, in my mind, I'm trying to associate this and this. Right? So it's 80, 80. We're going somewhere. I'm going to show you just now. And negative cos 45. Negative cos 45. 45, you can literally go to your cheat sheet, and remember, cos can be written as adjacent of opposite. So cos is adjacent. Looking at what you, if you look at this or look at this one, so if you look at this angle, it's gonna be adjacent over opposite. Adjacent over hypotenuse, and that's cos. So maybe I can write that down as our note. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, and sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and tan is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so you're gonna use a lot of that. So again, 45 is opposite over adjacent, and we saw that was okay, we already have that negative there, so this is going to be 1 over root 2. And then tan 30, go back again to our cheat sheet. You can say, okay, cool, tan 30 is this. Tan 30 is opposite. Tan is opposite over adjacent, so that's gonna be opposite over adjacent, 1 over root 3. Okay, 1 over root 3, 1 over root 3, right? And now, so you have here, we still have negative cos theta, cos 80. Now with sine 45, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, sine is opposite of hypotenuse, sine 45, so we're saying opposite over hypotenuse, which is 1 over root 2. So we write that down, 1 over root 2, 1 over root 2. Okay, and then from here, what do? You can just then say, okay, cool, how do we deal with this one here, 90 minus 80 degrees? So when you go back to our cheat sheet and look at our cast diagram, and you're going to remember that sine of 90 degrees plus theta. Sine of 90 degrees plus theta, you do the same thing. Say, okay, cool, where is 90 degrees plus theta? 90 degrees plus theta is on the second quadrant, and second quadrant sine is positive. So you're going to have positive cos theta. When you look at cos 90 degrees plus theta, ask yourself the same question. Where is 90 degrees plus theta? 90 degrees plus theta is on your second quadrant, and second quadrant sine is positive. So in this case, you're going to have negative because you have cos, and then you're going to have negative sine theta. Okay, and then here, sine of 90 degrees minus theta is equal to, now ask yourself, where is this 90 degrees minus theta? 90 degrees is on your first quadrant, and everything in the first quadrant is positive, so you're gonna just have positive sine. So it's cos now, cos theta, and even cos 90 degrees minus theta, everything is positive, you can have positive sine theta. Right, so this is what we're gonna use to change that. So when you go back here and you see that you have sine of 90 minus 80. Sine of 90 minus 80. Sine of 90 minus theta is equal to cos theta. Therefore, sine of 90 minus 80 is equal to cos 80. So that's what we're going to write there. Cos 80. So you have negative cos 80 degrees times 1 over root 2 times 1 over root 3 over negative cos 80 degrees times 1 over root 2. And eventually this and this cancels, this and this cancels as well. We'll be left with negative and 1 over root 3. So that's your answer. Negative 1 over root 3. And yeah, it's not the same as this. Again, boy Pelo, please check. This should be negative. That should be negative. Please check that again. This should be negative. Okay. All right, 1.6. Simplify completely. So you have sine 90 plus 0. Strange. Plus cos 180 plus 0 is too strange. Sine of negative. Okay, yeah. Boy Pelo, please check as well. This should be theta, I guess. This should be theta, because if it's 0, that doesn't make sense. It will make sense for me to be sine 90 plus theta, cos 180 plus theta, sine of negative theta over sine 180 times 135. Okay, so we can just write that. So simplify this completely. So 9 degrees plus theta, I don't know what is minus or plus, so it's plus. Okay, so plus cos of 180 plus theta sine of negative theta over sine 180 minus 135. If my memory serves me right. Yes, sine 180 minus theta, sine 180 minus sine 135. All right, so simplify this completely. Again, we already know how to simplify this. Sine of 90 plus theta, go to our cast diagram. So, okay, cool. Sine of 90 plus theta is equal to cos theta. So you write that the way it is. This is equal to cos theta. Now, how do you simplify this? Cos of 180 plus theta. So you do the same thing on your two sheets. Say, okay, cool. We're looking at cos 180 plus theta. So we can just look at this one first. You can say, okay, cool. What is cos? Let me zoom in, make it smaller. Remove that. So what is cos of 180 degrees minus theta, right? 180 degrees minus theta, 180 degrees minus theta is on your second quadrat, and only sine is positive on second quadrat, so you can have negative cos theta. Now, sine of 180 degrees minus theta is, as you guess, positive sine theta. Why? Because this is on your second quadrat, and sine is positive on second quadrat, so that's why you have positive sine theta. And what about 180 plus theta? 180 plus theta, same story. Only tan is positive here, right? So everything is negative. So you have sine of 180 degrees plus theta. This is gonna be negative, exploited. And cos of 180 degrees plus theta. This is gonna be negative cos theta. Only tan. So if you do tan of 180 plus theta, only tan is positive, so the rest is negative. Okay, so now let's try and answer our question. So what is cos of 180 plus theta? Cos of 180 plus theta, let's go. Cos of 180 plus theta is negative cos theta. Cos of 180 plus theta is negative cos theta. So you can just write that down. So this is negative, let me make it bigger. Negative cos theta sine. Now this one is interesting. So I want you to remember sine of negative theta is equal to negative sine theta. Cos of negative theta is, rather, let me just do tan first. Tan of negative theta is negative tan theta. And cos of negative theta is positive cos theta. Right? With sine and tan of negative is a negative tan, negative sine, and with cos, negative is positive cos. Why is that? It's because all along we've been looking at a cast diagram on the clockwise direction, but then there's a cast diagram on your anti-clockwise direction. Cast diagram on your anti-clockwise direction still look like that. So this was 0, 90, 180, 270, 360, but this one is 0, negative 90, negative 180, negative 270, negative 360. This is in your clockwise direction. It's negative, negative. And this is where you have your negative theta. This is where you have a positive theta. And here cos is positive. So that's why tan of negative theta is negative tan theta. Sine of negative theta is negative sine theta, but cos of negative theta is positive cos theta, because cos is positive on this quadrat. That's when you're looking at clockwise direction on the cast diagram. Awesome stuff. All right. Yeah. So with that being said, sine of negative theta is negative sine theta of sine 180. Sine 180 you can partially calculate to 0, but I can show you as your note here that remember, when you look at sine wave at the graph from negative 1 to 1, when sine is 0, when you have sine 0, you're gonna have 0. When sine 90, you're gonna have 1. So sine 90 degrees is 1, and sine of 180 degrees is 0. So sine of 270 degrees is negative 1. Sine of 360 is 0. Okay, so sine of 180 is 0, and tan 135, again we reduce this into an angle that is between 0 and 90 degrees. That's what you were trying to do, and then you ask yourself, where is 135 on your cast diagram? Go back to your cheat sheet and say, okay, cool, 135 is here on your second quadrant, and on the second quadrant only sine is positive, so you have negative tan. So you're gonna have negative tan there, so negative tan, and then reduce 135. Of course, you can just say 180 minus 135, because 135 is less than 180, so you're gonna be left with 45 degrees. And yeah, so of course theta and this negative cancels, become positive, so you have positive cos theta sine theta over 0. Again, this negative and this negative become positive, and tan 45 is 1. You can check that again on your diagram here. Tan 45, remember, tan is opposite of adjacent, so tan 45 is opposite over adjacent, which is 1 over 1, and 1 over 1 is 1, so tan 45 is 1. Tan 45 is 1, so you're gonna be left with cos theta plus cos theta sine theta, and this is cos theta 1 plus sine theta. Voila. All right, cool. So yeah, so that's basically my answer to you, boy pilot. Thank you for asking. Please share, comment, Tell your friends about this platform. It's gonna help thousands, if not millions, of students to learn mathematics, and we are here to help. And yeah, so this platform like this, they deserve to be spoken about and let a lot of students to know about this platform. Let parents as well to know about this platform, and let them subscribe to this platform, like this platform, and download these videos from this platform and share videos from this platform, and let people learn mathematics, because we need more students in SA to understand mathematics. Thank you. Looking forward to answer the next question.